In this latest episode of the Third Eye View podcast, we continue to build on the Colin Kaepernick situation and see is he still being blackballed in the NFL. Stay tuned, it starts right now.
I'm thinking that they need to like start looking at some outside careers because the dog story and with Colin Kaepernick, I can't, and again, both of you guys, y'all are more versed in, especially football than I am. I can't see that I can't see anybody taking that chance on him. And the public outcry, even if it's just on Twitter, you know, uh, I don't see it happening. But didn't the owner or the coach or somebody on the 49ers say, we stand behind them
It was the
or
it
something
was the
along those
it
lines?
was the coach that actually drafted him. That's no longer
Okay.
with the 49ers. He said,
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
yeah, a lot of people said yeah, he said he's a good person. He said he has no problem.
Right.
He's like, out of all the quarterbacks up to free agency, he's like the best quarterback out there. So if I was coaching, I have no problem picking him up. But Jim
Hmm.
Harbaugh is yeah, he's the one who drafted Kaepernick, and he liked Kaepernick, and he said he stand by
Hmm.
him everything he does. But they dropped him a season ago or 2 seasons ago, something like that.
Hmm.
So yeah, so he's no longer with the team. So I guess you could say that when you're not with the team. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know this ain't part of the topic or anything, but do y'all think that if he don't get signed, say he don't get signed, do y'all think that it set like an example for future NFL stars to come up who want to stand out that they won't since they see that they was basically in their career? I don't know if
well,
we want to get into that, but it's
Of course we're gonna get in. Of course we're gonna get it because I think that's the underlying message. It's a punishment and a warning for everybody else. I think that's how it works. And if you look back, over the course of, the black experience in America, going from before there was an America when we were brought over to, in the bottom of ships, I think that's always been the case. Like I said, that whole uppity Negro, substituting the more proper term Negro for what else was said, you know, has always been an issue. And I think always there's been a push or a drive, a hint, an example of, stay in your place. And we even hear that still in 2017, in one form or another, stay in your place.
yeah. Well,
right.
I say not for if you talk about stars and superstars, it's kind of different. Kaepernick isn't in my eyes. He's not a star or superstar, but he's a solid, good player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
So if it was a superstar or a star that was at the peak of his game, at the top of his game, and he did something like that, they were like Ezekiel Elliott. If he was to kneel, they were still rolling. They're not dropping him. You know what I'm saying? Because the benefits outweigh
Cut
just
stuff.
cutting them in the negative that people are going to say about him. But being Kaepernick is not at that stature, that level, and that awareness of quarterbacks because a lot of people didn't know who he was. Even though he went to the Super Bowl just like 2 seasons ago. You know what I'm saying? A couple seasons ago. Well, like 3 seasons ago. Then he almost beat out Seattle like 2 seasons ago. Uh, he missed about like 1 second, but anyway. Um, I don't know. I think they show an example because he's not a superstar. He's not a star. He's just a good player, and that's the thing. Like the black superstars and stars, no one's behind them. You know what I'm saying? So they basically just showing like, don't mess with us. We have the last word. We control everything that's over here. So
Right.
it would take superstars,
I don't
superstars
even,
to
I
say
don't even
something.
think, I don't even think that would happen. I even, okay, if the highest, rated, ranked, paid, black NFL player did the same thing, at the very next contract negotiation, it would be remembered. That's what I mean. I don't think they would walk onto the field and say, "Get off." I'm just like, "Oh, you did that? Okay, well, we got a contract. Okay, at the end of that contract, pack your bags."
It
That's
depends what
what
team you're with, but
Yeah,
I don't think it would matter.
no, it
I
will,
think
man.
it's more than one. If it's like say 10 of the superstar from each team, black superstar from each team, if they said something, that'll be more standing than just one. Because I mean, how would the NFL make money? That's how they make money off the superstars and the I guess the playing of the football. I mean, they wouldn't have nothing but average players if most of the superstars stood up beside them. I think. I mean, that's my thinking though.
And I agree with that. I agree that, and I'm not disagreeing with the fact that if they stood up at that moment, it would have an effect. I'm talking about at the next contract negotiation.
Nah,
When it comes time to re-sign those people,
nah.
that's when it will be remembered. Not in the middle of it. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, well, okay, yeah, we don't like they did with Kaepernick. Well, we don't agree with it, and we they sent out all these little messages about we don't agree with it. We don't but he's got to do what he's got to do, and so on and so forth. But as we see now that his contract has come up, it's not being picked up.
No, if it's a superstar, you're talking about a Zeke the Freak. If he doesn't get injured, he stays on the path that he's on right now. He can. It's already issues with him already, Ezekiel, in his first year. Stuff that it doesn't have anything to do with him, fighting against the NFL, but he is doing some things that the NFL just don't want out there. You know what I'm saying?
For example,
he just last week he was St. Patrick's Day. He was partying on a rooftop and he pulled down a woman's shirt to show her titties. He was in public. He was in public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's
the NFL tolerates that. They in the past they always tolerate, but now in this new age, this new day, they don't want it to be out there. So they're gonna get backlash with that. Then his ex-girlfriend, he's dealing with that. He backsmacked her in college, so he's still dealing with that. And he was dealing with an incident when he came into the NFL, and also he was caught. TMZ caught him on a boat partying and drinking. He's partying and drinking. So a lot of this stuff that's going on with him right now, and he's actually not getting any for pulling down a girl's shirt. They're not doing anything to him. You know what I'm saying? He's not getting reprimanded for anything like that. So if he was to be in this, he's in the prime. Well, he's not in his prime. He's still growing. He could be a great running back, probably one of the best top NFL running backs. And if his contract is up in 3 years, and if he stays on this path, he'll be 24, 25 in 3 years. He'll be at the peak of his career, the peak of his playing time. And if he was to kneel the next couple years, it wouldn't be forgotten, but the Dallas would still pick him up. Now it depends. If he went to New England, over there with Bill Belichick or Tom Brady, they're not allowing that stuff. They're dropping you. They'll drop him in the middle of his. I don't care how much, how many yards he's running. They're dropping him in the middle of the contract. I kid you not. So it kind of depends what team you're with. Because when you go over to Boston is just a. You know what I'm saying? They don't allow people to be outspoken. They don't allow people to go outside their means and bounds when it comes to their team. They like the team is tight knit. They let a little people show a little of their personality, but once you take it too far, you're out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like they would drop him in the middle of his contract. So it kind of depends what team you go to. Because Jerry Jones with Dallas Cowboys, he does a lot. He picks up a lot of people to backlash. Ed Hardy, he picked up 2 years ago. You know how much backlash it was to pick up Ed Hardy, and he actually picked him up and gave him a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That was
but I think that the fundamental difference is these are like almost because you have some Neanderthal thinking men that boys will be boys,
Right.
which is drastically different than saying, hey, America, you have a problem with race and how you treat black people. That's drastic. Those are two separate conversations.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Those
So
are
even if Colin Kaepernick, who as far as I know, has never done drugs, never hit his girlfriend, never been pulled down a girl's shirt in the middle of public, he hadn't done any of those moral things.
right.
He stood up for against racism in America. Where this other guy you're talking about, he's done all this stuff, but he's never stood up for racism against America. I think he gets signed all day long.
Right, but I'm just.
But it's the people who would stand up for anything dealing with race in America, because that's not the conversation that they want to have.
Right,
That's the difference.
I agree with that, but what I'm getting to the point, if the pros outweigh the cons, if the pros greatly outweigh the cons, they would keep him, depending on what team. At the time, Greg Hardy got signed by the Dallas Cowboys. This is right after the Ray Rice incident. And Greg Hardy, not only did he do it once, did it twice. He went to court and basically he paid to shush up his ex-girlfriend, but what happened in court documents got released. And what she claimed he did to her was like 20 times worse than what we saw Ray Rice do to his wife now. But of course, Ed Hardy didn't get caught on tape. So that was in the midst of that. And it was a black man, and he had issues, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, He didn't stick up, with the racial thing. But at the time that Jerry Jones signed him, he got so much back outlash. And Greg Hardy is not he's like a Kaepernick. He's a solid. Actually, his skill level is lower than Kaepernick. You know what I'm saying? So the pros did not. The cons greatly outweighed the pros, and they still picked him up and gave him a chance. So it kind of depends on what team you go to. Usually, teams like Dallas and other teams, they actually go against the curve. When they picking up people, because it's about what you can do for them. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of depends. Right. But I see what you're saying, that he's not bringing up anything about race, and a lot of people do look at that. Boys will be boys, and I always looked at it. I didn't look at it boys will be boys, but I looked at it like, man, what did you expect from these guys? They're dealing with a full contact sport. They're hopped up on all these vitamins and all this other stuff when you get to that level of football. Their testosterone level is crazy, and they're taking these hits in the head. You don't know what they're dealing with mentally. So it could be some of the reason they just they play an angry sport. You know what I'm saying? So and they don't know that sometimes turn that stuff off when it comes to being off the field. So
absolutely, I 100% agree with you. I just think that. Go ahead, D-Blaze.
No, I was just gonna say, and if you're getting money that you never had, ego plays in some of that stuff too.
Yeah,
you're getting all this money and fame, and you just feel like sometimes you do what you want to do. And
that's definitely what it is.
I agree. Well, I guess we're going to have to keep monitoring, seeing this Colin Kaepernick story. I think the brother going to have to go into real estate. Or, I hope he got a degree when he was in college that he could use to get a job, because I just don't see him working in the NFL anymore. I hope he got a post. I hope he has a post football career objective.
I started looking into real estate or something.
Yeah, he got things. I hope he got
the capital to start. He got the capital to start.
Hope he been investing, because he ain't coming back. He can't come back from this. I don't see it. I'd be very surprised if he came back, to football. He can go on to do other great things, take nothing away from his, ability, and he can come and do something else and take all that passion and critical thought, and he's well spoken, and he obviously has a brain. He can see and think and make decisions for himself. So I think he could do, go on to do great things. I just don't see him in football anymore. You know,
Well, not
I
this
hope.
season, not 2017. Maybe when the stuff died down,